All right, cool. Big up to FS Claire. If they risked losing everything in divorce, in brackets, half of wealth, the kids, the house, alimony, and child support, and men filed for divorce 80 to 90% of the time, would they get married? If no, how can they ask men to do that, to take that risk? Okay, let me reword it, yeah, because I got it straight away. So basically, what he's saying is, if you could get into a marriage and a man can divorce you, and you know that men divorce women 80 to 90% of the time, and when they do it, they can take half your money, take your kids away, get money just because you was married to them, and all these other things. Do you think a lot of women would be into getting married?
No, they wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't.
So why is it that men? Why do you think men should do the same thing if it's such a risk that women wouldn't even take themselves?
I feel like, sorry, you can go on.
I think I don't blame men, because nowadays especially, they are very scared to commit, and there's a lot of people that are happy with just being together but not with the actual governmental, I'm married, this is on the line, half of this is yours if this happens. But then see, if the roles were reversed, and if it was me, for example, me as a woman, I know that men are 80 to 90% higher chance of divorcing, then I would be very uncomfortable being in that position. But then also, if you think about it, I'm giving birth to the kids. I'm also giving birth to the children, and then him having the children is like that is a really big thing for me. Like, so, okay, cool. So he takes the kids as well, yeah?
Yeah.
So he divorces, he takes the kids as well.
Yeah, just what women do to men.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's reverse it.
No, but if you think about it, like, that would be my major problem. That would be like, okay, because I've given birth to the children and whatever.
Yeah. So?
I'm saying me divorcing the man and getting something from it, not half of everything that he has, but at least something from it. I think that is fair, because I've gone through giving birth, being pregnant for 9 months and whatever, raising the child to some age. I think, is that not, you can't even, it's just not repayable.
Let me just say something that a lot of women don't understand. More time when it's women that are more eager to go and get pregnant and have kids than guys are. Most guys don't. Most guys, when they had a child, and I've got a lot of friends of mine who's got kids and that, and you know, it wasn't planned. They didn't plan for that to happen. It just happened, and you know, a lot of them will say, "Oh, it was the best thing that happened." You know, you can't never plan this thing, but actually, yeah, you can plan this thing if you're smart. You can, and to be honest with you, like, yes, their children are a blessing and a miracle and all of that, but let's be real. If you have a child at the wrong time in your life, it will stunt your growth, or it will definitely slow it down considerably. So, really and truly, I understand women will be in a rush to have children, because you have a thing called biology that plays a part in your bodies. Like, do you get what I'm saying? So you have to kind of be leaning towards, if you do want to have children, you have to kind of think about that as you get older. My window's starting to get narrow. I need to have a child in it, yeah? Whereas guys you don't really have to think about it like that as a guy. You don't, like, you know, I'm not saying that you should be 50 years old and have a kid, your first kid at 50, but you have a longer window. You have a bigger window. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So what happens is, you know, a lot of women, especially if they're with a man that they really find attractive, yeah, like, I want to pass his DNA onto a child. I want my children to look like him. Yeah, they'll be up for having his kids, even if it's the right or wrong time. They don't care. So
that is true.
And
okay, you did carry the child for 9 months and you pushed out the child, but it's still half his child though.
Yeah. But if that role was reversed, would it be reversed as to when you said, like, for a man, like, I have to make sure that at this age, like, I have everything sorted, like my financially and things. Does that reverse for that as well? Because I feel like,
yeah, let's just reverse it.
Yeah,
let's just complete the roles are reversed.
Then that's expected. Then you would have to just like low key roll over and accept. It's not necessary to say that it's the women is because it's reversed. So the men would have to roll over and just accept that, you know.
What?
this is the situation, because these days this is how it is. I don't know. It's reverse.
I don't know.
It's
Words
making
you
me
just said.
confused.
All I
Forget
know
it.
is when I asked you lot said no, you wouldn't do it. That's it. So why what is the incentive for guys to do it, especially with the kind of world that we live in today?
But look, there was that guy that put all his money in
the
his
footballer.
mum's
Hakimi.
name.
Yes.
So there are some smart people out
Very
here.
smart fellow.
He's teaching me how to raise my sons.
Interesting. Let me ask you lot this question, yeah. You all have sons, yeah. Let's say you all have sons, yeah. And they get to the age where they're with a girl and, you know, I'm thinking about asking her to marry him. What would you advise your son to look out for? What red flags would you advise your son to look out for before he was to get married to a woman? Yeah.
Ooh, that's a very good question.
I
That's very good. Okay, cool. So, okay, so in the world that we live in right now, I feel like women are very calculated. That is what makes up for their physical deficiency in that sense. So I would tell my son, has she ever made you feel stupid? Has she ever made you doubt yourself? Has she ever taken control of any aspect of your life when you didn't want her to? Financially, emotionally, like in that kind of sense. I feel like it's more emotional manipulation that I would tell him to look out for. And then the rest of it, I think everything else, I mean, unless she's like super keen to have a kid and then have a kid with you and take your child support money, I don't know.